All right, we should be coming up. No longer hosting. We got audio. We do indeed. Okay, perfect. And I don't know why. Can I make this? I don't know how to make that window go away. My other laptop I can't see if I have drop frames or not because of the way that it set itself up. Lovely. Let me just do that. Okay, now I can see. For you, let's pop you out. Starting a little bit early today, so I have time to sort of like set this up. Plus also, I woke up early enough. I think this will work. And go like that. I don't know, I feel like I want some kind of symmetry on this, but I'm not exactly sure how exactly I want it to be either. Okay, so I don't need to worry about you anymore. I think my next thing is gonna be tweet out. Go to my dashboard. Tweet. I'm live on Twitch. They're in Slack. Twitch channel. I'm live on Twitch. All right, so that's that. Perfect. And still got 4 minutes of setup time for myself. Let's do this. Back here to GitHub. Our learning Rust. Okay, so in learning Rust, we're currently at this last chapter 8 challenge. It's taken us a few times to sort of like get this done. We'll see how far we get this time. So we're already downloaded, I believe. Just need to go actually get this stuff. Make sure we have the latest version. We do. We're gonna go into chapter 8 and the department lookup. We'll open up code here. Okay, so we have our hash map, we have our vectors, we have everything else. Right, I think we're still just sort of pulling apart pieces of what we've got because we're extracting the parts of the command. I wanted to make sure that we could do that we get all three of these things, and I think last time that's what we did. I realized that I don't really want that. I want all these to be left, with chat on the right, and maybe we could do something like that. Then go on the left. You go on the left. Perfect. Now we can always see chat. Now, of course, in the video, if you're watching, and if the text on any of these is too small, please let me know, and I can set myself a little notice here to increase the font size when I record these. Until then, it's almost 7 o'clock, so it's just about time to get started. Let's go ahead and test this. See where we're at. So we do cargo run. Enter your command. So our command types are add name to department. So add Alice to engineering. Its command is add, name's Alice, department is engineering. We also want to get, so get, thread of, is it just get? No, get employees. Okay, that works. And then the last one is get employees from department. So get employees from engineering. Yeah, that seems to be fine. So we have our enum with that. Now we could actually start using a hash map to add people into each of the departments. So if we focus on add first, in here, we did our match command just to get the command parts, and so down here we have those. Hey Everest, welcome to the stream. Good morning. How are things? Okay, so we have our command parts. Now, if we do an add command, we need to check to see if the department is in the hash map, and if it is not, then add it. Otherwise, just, I guess the hash map should really be, yeah, it's gonna look like this, and key for the hash map, and the value is going to be the vectors. So we're going to use standard IO, use standard collections hash map. Ooh, we're getting all sorts of cool stuff now. Things are fine. Doing a bit of work while watching. Right. What time is it over there right now? It's like in the afternoon, right, for you? Okay, so we're going to bring in a hash map. Then we want to initialize that right at the top of main. So, or do 1502, 302. So nice, sort of like nice mid-afternoon, like before the 5 o'clock ending of the day. Okay, so once we have all this stuff, we can now initialize the hash map. So we're gonna say let our mutable departments equals hash map. So we create this Rust type annotations needed. Well, I think you're gonna figure it out, Rust. It's okay. I'm pretty sure you're gonna figure it out. Okay, so we're gonna get all these things. Then if it's the add command, we want to add that, and then maybe like send the departments in, or we get them back and do it here. Okay, so do I want to do a match here? I think I might want to do a match. So if I do match command, so this is our command is this enum, and we want to see if it's an add. And I think I just say command dot add. So if it's a command add, then I want to, well, I could just print line it is an add. Now Expected unit struct variant or constant, found struct variant, command add. Now, expected unit struct variant or constant. I don't mean that. Did you mean command add? Oh, fields. How do I in the match just check to see if the type is add? Because that's all I really care about. Is to say like, hey, if it is an add, I mean, can I just say that? I mean, oh, I can. Hey, never mind. Okay, so then we're gonna get a get. Line is at a get. And then we have a get by department. If you only care about the variant, try command add. Oh, okay. Well, for right now, I will eventually care about like the content of that. So if I do, that's curly brackets. So I'd be able to do something like that. Would I be able to do this be like a underscore? It doesn't like this. Can I find struct variant or union type add in this scope? But I have to put sort of name department. By department. So in this one, it's our department. Okay, so it was definitely jumping around a little bit, but it is telling me that there's an error here. Cannot find structure, variant, or union type add in the scope. Not which I don't think so. I don't think that's exactly the way I want to do it. Because I think the problem is, oh, I probably actually want to add, like instead of doing this all out here, I probably want to do it up here. Because that way I can like add it to a add functions to the command enum. Mirakello or Mr. Ekello? I don't know. But hello, welcome to the stream. Good morning. Okay, so if I want to do I want to do this match command here or out here? Which in some ways I want to say like, okay, if you're an add the thing to this department. I also kind of want to know whether or not if I have like a hash map, can I add my own commands to that too? Or is that with something else that I would do? Like an implements. But okay, so regardless, it doesn't seem to like this. Let's get the error message. Like let's get the real error message. Okay, not found in the scope. Possible candidate is found in another module. You can import it into the scope. Use command add. Okay, so I do need to do the command add like that. Ooh. The type annotations needed. I'm gonna ignore you for this second. You can call me Miguel, and thank you. Awesome. Well, thank you, Miguel, for stopping by. Okay, so enter my command. If we do get like add Alice to engineering command, it is an add. Okay, so that's perfect. So I got kind of thrown off a little bit there by VS Code was being a little bit too jumpy when it comes to running the compiler and giving me warnings about my code. It looks like I had put in command add and I got the red squigglies right away, and it just says, oh, cannot find that. But I think what was going was it was running stuff before I was finished writing it, and sort of threw me off and made me think that wasn't the right path to go when it really was the right path. This was the thing I hadn't had on there yet. But now that I do, for example, we should have name and department destructured from the enum, which means that if we do an add here, we should also say like, hey, this is an add, and it's going to be into here, which is the name into department. Of course, I got all these warnings, but I'm not worried about that right now. Okay, so enter your command, which is add Alice to engineering. Yep, Alice is going into engineering. So that's how we sort of like destructured it from the enum and now have access to these variables. And so if we think about it, we have these let me departments. In this case, if we're adding, we don't want to print, but we want to instead do departments.insert, and I believe that the key is on the left here, so it's going to be the department and then name. Match arms have incompatible types: expected enum, standard option found parentheses. Note expected type, standard option, standard string found type parentheses. Is that for like the return? If I'm just trying to like do, hey, departments insert into here. Were you expected, what was this expecting it to like return something? Or do I now need to like just make sure I do all these things now? Okay, so we have our add, which is this just inserting into here. Now, if I were to just ignore you and put in a catch-all, anything else? Yeah, so you're not happy because you're saying this match arms have incompatible types. I want to get the real error message to see if it gives me any help with that. Okay, so expected enum standard option right here. Interesting. When I'm departments inserting into here, course found that match arm with an incompatible type. Is that because I'm doing something with the department here and now I'm gonna have to do something with the department everywhere? Citing the documentation, if the map did not have this key present, none is returned. If the map did have this key present, the value is updated and the old value is returned. Oh, interesting, right? Because match returns something. It's an option none, right? That's why I was saying That's why it's saying expected enum, but it found expected enum standard option, because this first one returns this option none. But this one just doesn't return anything. Okay, so insert returns an option. Interesting. So we would need, I wonder, can I return an option? What would it be? Option, standard option none or something like that? I don't know. It doesn't actually matter because we're not going to do that. Instead, what I want to do is just actually do all these things then for real. Okay, so this inserts the department name, we hope, like where it's creating that. Of course, it is returning none if it didn't replace it, or the old value if it did. With this one, if we're doing a get, just a single get, we're trying to get all of them. The problem here is that this is returning. So I'm kind of thinking I want to throw these into a, oh, VS Code, why did you do that to me? Okay. I want to do this so that I can control what I return. Because pretty much at this point, I just want to like print out what happened. Or like this is not returning anything at all. Okay, so command get, and in this case, this wants to get all of them, right? Like it gets the entire list. Okay, so with this one, oh, and I don't actually want to insert exactly like this. I want, well, it would be a new vector. Like, so we need to check to see if it exists first. I think that's the key. So we want to say, well, probably the best thing to do would be insert into, we're gonna run this as a function. We're gonna pass it the name. So name, the department, and a reference to, can I just do a reference like this and it'll be immutable on the other side? The departments. Now, of course, it'll yell at me saying insert into doesn't exist. That's okay, we'll create it down here. So fn insert into. This is going to take a name, which is type, it's a string, which I think I can just say, hey, it's just a reference, it's just our stir. It's our department, which is a stir. Now, of course, do I care about passing ownership to it? I'm actually think I'm okay with that too. And then finally, we have a mutable reference to the hash map. So the departments. And what is this going to return? I don't see any reason to return anything at all. It's just going to update this right here. So what are you currently yelling about? Expected one of, oh, mute. I think it's this, right? And that is mute. What is the department? It's the hash map. So hash map? Do I have to tell it what it is? A hash map of something? Wrong number of type of arguments, expected as 2, found 0. So I need to go look up how to do hash map. So Rust function pass hash map. Okay, so okay, so it's the turbofish syntax. So we have our mutable hash map, so it is like that, and then just turbo syntax of what the key type and what the value type is, I believe. So it is, yeah, just hash map like this, but now we want to say, and it looks like they're putting in, it's like, are we putting in references or full strings? Like, do we give ownership to this hash map or not? We could give, if we give strings, I think the problem is that they won't exist long enough. If we leave them here, they die at the end of this command. So I think actually just full string expected one of, oh, it just took a little bit while to finish. Okay, so that's our function into here. Let's now actually update our hash map. But the first thing we need to do is get this department. So just to see if that works. So let's actually go to Rust by example hash map. Okay, so where's our hash map? Okay, so we have contacts, we're inserting strings, and like this. Of course, we're going to insert a vector there. Takes a reference and returns option B. Contacts.get, and then the reference to string, which is on this side. Okay, so we can do that. Now, of course, I think, yeah, okay, so match, because we're going to get some and then the number, or then none, which is nothing else. Okay, so that's what I want. So I want to do match. It's going to be departments.get, and then I want to put a, I'm not sure if I can do the reference to the string like it does right here. Let's try it. I'm going to do a reference to the name. Okay, so far so good. We get a reference to our name, and then we have, it's going to be a sum, and then it's going to be the number, which is the right hand side. So in this sum, if we think about this, this is not going to be a hash map string. It's going to be a vector, a vec. And do I need to give that? I think I do. I need to then say, this is a vector of strings as well. Okay, perfect. So sum of a, what is it? This is going to be the actual names. Okay, so if the names exist, so if this name, if the department exists, we're going to get this vector of names, and we're going to want to then simply insert Alice into it. Let's not worry about if Alice is already in it right now. So we're going to say names. We then want do I have to say that this is a mutable vector here? Like that? No, okay. It's just the type. You might want to take a look at this method. You used it before. It makes it a bit easier. Take a look at that. Oh, it's the entry. Gets the given key's corresponding entry in the map for in-place manipulation. You're right. That is a lot easier. You're right. I did use this and I forgot. All right. So letters. We have our new hash map. For the character in all of these characters, let counter equals letters dot entry or insert. That's what I want to do. Entry or insert. Because if we do entry is the okay, so the counter is what we get back, or insert. Okay, perfect. And or insert is literally what we're inserting into here. So that's perfect. So print our hash map. Do we even need to do this match anymore? Because we're just going to insert into. Now we're going to say, okay, so right, okay, so this will be let our department equals, and it's going to be our department's hash map dot entry, and the key is going to be a reference to the department. Ooh, I lost it right here. We shouldn't call this department. This should be I don't know what to call it. I'll just call it D for right now. And entry or insert. And if we insert this, this should be a vec, an empty array. Should it be an empty array? Yeah, it should be an empty array because the next thing I'm about to do is, this is going to be a mute, I believe. Then we can say d dot push the name. Expected. Okay, so it does need a full string. Okay, so I'm hoping that this does the insert into for us and then puts that in there. We passed in the hash map, which is a reference. We're getting this, we're pushing that in. We come back up here. This needs to be the full string that we're passing in. Expected immutable reference, found struct standard collection hash map. Can I put it like that? Well, expected expression, found keyword mute, but you are mutable right there. It's departments. It's not, didn't lose it right here. Although at this point in time, this is easy enough that I might want to actually just do this right here. Just like, take this. So like, okay, let mute d equals departments dot entry, pass into department, or insert the empty vector, and then push in the name. Match command, non-exhaustive pattern, get by department, not command. That's fine. We haven't finished yet. Okay, so that adds it in here for us. Now, command get. So this is going to print out all of the departments. which means, okay, we want to now just departments, loop through them, I think, and then print out all the departments and all the other things. So that's going to be, do I just want a standard iterator through it? Because I think, where's my hash map? I don't need the iterator for a hash map. An iterator visiting all key value pairs in arbitrary order. Iterator element type is, okay, so for key and value in map.iterator, and then we just print these all out. Okay, perfect. So for key and val in the departments.iter. So in this, then we're just going to print line. Well, okay, then we have the value. So this is going to be interesting. So we're going to first do a print line. This is going to be the department. I'm going to say something like this. And this is going to be the key. And then we want to for loop again. This is going to be for name in val.iter. And I think I want to change this to like something a little better. I don't think I have to call it key and value. I think it's positions, right? I could be wrong though. Okay, so we're going through this, and then we're going to have print line, and this is going to be the name. Okay, so that should print out all of the keys in the departments. Now, of course, we're back to, we don't have get by department uncovered. So let's do this now. And we don't need to do this print line. Now we pass in the department. We want to pretty much do close to the exact same thing as this get, except first we're going to get the departments. So I think we want to so we're going to match in here, and this time we're going to use the get for departments. So it's going to be departments.get department. And the reason why I'm thinking of doing a match here is because we don't know if it exists or not. So we really need this sum, and it's going to be the values. So it's going to be the names. Or the none, which is nothing at all. So if we have the names here, that's just an array. We can now loop through and do this entire thing where we say, okay, for name in, you could actually print out this entire thing and redo it. This is going to be our department. I hope that it's not being passed in and getting lost here, or getting like ownership borrow. Like if it's getting transferred and getting given to get as an ownership, that's going to be interesting. Okay, so for name in, instead of val, this is names. Print line name. All right, let's see if we did it. This is saying it's not expected reference found struct center string. I can pass it a reference. Now this is saying non-exhaustive. Oh wait, right, we forgot to. Also, you need to be tabbed in. So we have our sum, and then we have everything else. And if this is the case, then I want to just do a print line and just say department not found. And we're not going to return anything from there. Everything, like nothing is being returned from this match because we have our semicolon. Everything is good. Save that. Oh right, can't have a semicolon there. All right, let's see if we have a an index here. So let's run this again. Okay, so enter your command. Let's first start with get employees. Length of command, parts 2. Okay, that's not what I was exactly expecting to happen there. Okay, so our iterator didn't really get its length of command parts 2. I believe that was right here, this get. But we didn't, this didn't happen. So for key and value in departments.iter. Well, would it be? Well, we do. Okay, so we do want to normally iterate through all the departments to get everything. What's interesting is that it didn't. Where did that other? Oh, here it is. Length of commands, parts length. So I got length of commands parts 2. That's fine. Get employees. Oh, is it? It's not working because there's nobody added, is it? I don't think I need to have you in here anymore. Okay, let's first let's add Alice to engineering. Oh, I probably want to do this in a loop, don't I? Because I do that and it works, but then the command just ends. And the big thing is that as soon as I match the command, I now want to loop back over and start this all over again. So inside of main, we're ask for the input for the command. So I think it's just loop. And I want you all the way to the end of this main. Go up 1, right? Tab in. Unreachable expression. You're totally right. We can't get that okay, but it works, so we're fine. All right, so enter your command, add Alice to engineering. Enter your command. Okay, let's try get employees. Uh-oh, that didn't work. How about get make sure to put the hash map declaration out of the loop. Oh, am I doing that? Uh-oh, that's not good. You're right, I'm doing this totally right in here, which is killing it. Like that. We want to put this above the loop. Is there anything else that I don't want in the loop? So enter your command. We want to reset this and start new. So like we're shadowing that. Center reline. Okay, we get that. our command parts, we like figure this out. Then we match the commands. I think kind of like the idea of maybe we have add get. If I break here, so if I say, instead of a panic, if this is a break, will that break out of this loop? It should, right? Which then means the OK is fine. All right, cargo run. Add Alice to engineering. Enter your command. Get employees. Aha! Engineering, Alice is in there. Perfect. So if I say get, I already forget what the possible commands were. Get employees from. So get employees from engineering. We just have this. So perfect. All right. Miguel and Avaris, what departments would you like to be added to here? So I'm gonna say add Avaris to. Let me know what department you want to be in. In the meantime, I'm gonna go prep our wiki, because I think we're gonna spend the last like 15 or so minutes of this updating that. Thank you, Miguel. I think it's in Learning Rust wiki. Yeah. Nona Sele was here, so I can. And delete this. That was from our test. Okay, and then we can start doing anything. Engineering, you're an engineer. Okay, got it. Engineering. All right. Miguel, what do you like to be in? Add. Two. Okay. Then we're gonna create a page or multiple and just sort of like add in the little things that we've sort of like figured out today. I think I do want to. We can clone this wiki locally, but what I've noticed is that if I come to Learning Rust and I look at this, I can make an update. Data science. Nice. Okay, so we'll do. I wonder if I can do. Probably just do like data science. And then we're going to get employees. There you go. Data science. If I can't repeat like that. Get employees. I'm wondering like what the random generator, like, is it always like, is it arbitrary but it's the same every single time that runtime, or is it going to get it out like just randomly, depending upon how it got added into memory, and it just goes from top to bottom in memory. But okay, yeah, we have Miguel from data science, Alice and Avaris from engineering. So perfect, we've got our app, everything is working. Let's go ahead and get this committed on sent on up to GitHub. So completed the challenge. It's completed the department lookup challenge. And I'll send that on up. I have the link to this repo in the description for I think both this both the YouTube video here that is going to be created and also the stream description. Okay, so I want to get out of here. We only have learning Rust. Let's git clone. So what I found is that this is the SSH version of git clone. It's for the learning Rust, but I want to do .wiki.get here. It works just fine. And what we notice is that we add in the learning Rust.wiki, and now all of our articles are just markdown files. And so we can update those. We could just now run this, update it, push and pull, just like anything else. We can even branch if we're concerned about running into any problems with merge conflicts, which wikis generally can do that. Now, I believe that every single person, as long as you have a GitHub account, you can access this. But so what I wanted to do is go through this really quickly and add things in, and possibly like link to the documentation of where we can find them. So, for example, with this is adding the ability to print from any data structure that we're creating that normally wouldn't have it, so that way we can debug it. So I'm thinking in here, let's open up code right here. So maybe in home we can link to printing values. And I believe we just wrap this like that. Sometimes I do have to come up here to sort of see what their version of everything is. So like if I were to edit this page and put in, that's just a link outside. That's code. Oh, maybe it is this one. The link text, if I create, oh, I think it's just gonna be like, if I say blah, blah, it's literally what we expected it to be. Back page. So printing values, and we'll just say printing values. Save this, and then we'll create the printing_values file. Even do this as a list. So printing values. Okay, so printing values. Let's go in here. Adding the ability to print with line macro on data structures like enums, hash maps, and vectors. And so what this would be is derive debug like that. And then we can give an example. I think this will be debug. And then example. Can I do this? I wonder if it actually understands Rust from this, or if we need to do like Rust lang or Rust C. or anything like that. Okay, so if I have this, then we can just come to our code here. Put that into there. And then later on, now we can print after. Now we can print with print line. Print line. And this will be print line and for example, we can just do our command. Okay, so what I'm hoping that we can do, and I guess like one last thing for here is, where can we find this in the documentation? So let's go find it, and I guess we can either use the Rust book or the actual official Rust documentation debug. What was this pattern called again? It was derive debug. So we want to derive debug. Right, because the standard format, we're adding that to, let's see, how to implement custom trait. Does Rust by example link to the documentation too? This is the, oh, this is still Rust by example. Oh, it's theirs. Derive attribute. Can I go to the actual docs Rust lang? Okay, so the API is here. Let's see if we could find drive. Debug. Although I think it's actually in. Okay, derive an implementation, derive debug, just like this, with all of the full documentation. So my point for this this wiki is not really to fully explain things, but to make it easier to find via searching. Find documentation. Maybe I can have something like documentation. That. Or trait debug. So yeah, my plan for this is to really not replace the documentation, but really make it so that I can search through on my computer really quickly, because I don't always know the words that I'm looking for. I want to say like, hey, how do I print off of this? Maybe find that and then go read the documentation based upon this. So let's get these added in here and go see how it looks. So added derived debug. We'll push this on up. Come back to our wiki, hit refresh. Here's our printing values. And oh, I just realized that I didn't name this file properly. This is just printing values. I need to rename it to be a .md file. Forgot to name file properly. And we'll send it on up again and fix that problem. Okay, so printing values, and that brings us into here. We get our nice color. We can go to the trait debug documentation. So this way, we can now add things in, and the coolest thing about it, and this is the hope that I can get, is that if I come into the Rust wiki, I can now grep for print, like print line from star. And then I can say, oh, printing values, adding ability to print line with print on data structures like that. And it's like, okay, perfect. Now I can go, I know what the file is, I can go into it, and I can see the link to everything else. That's sort of like my idea of what I want to do here. It's mostly for myself, but I'm hoping that anybody else might be able to benefit from this. And what I think I want to do just slowly over time is, as I run into these problems, add them in. So for example, we just added this in. Creating enums might be more of like, hey, we want to create an enum. You can do all these crazy things with it. Here's the documentation to do it. Or here's where to go get more information for it. And then like this one. This I don't actually understand yet. But we're able to use, we need the OK, I believe, because we're using this question mark right here, which, since the topic of Rust, have you tried ripgrep? Ooh, is ripgrep recursively searches directories for a regex pattern. Is it written in Rust? Is a line-oriented search tool that recursively searches your current directory for a regex pattern while respecting your git ignore rules. Ripgrep has first-class support on Windows, Mac, and Linux with binary downloads for almost every release. I have not tried it. I have not tried the Silver Searcher either, so that would be interesting. Miguel, yes, I highly recommend making a knowledge wiki of some kind that you could just throw things into. Cause like every time you're like, oh man, I've done that before and I forgot where I went to find it. That this is something that would prevent that from happening, because we just have it. There's no need to try to memorize everything, but rather to be able to recall it quickly. Why shouldn't I use ripgrep? I'd like to convince you why you shouldn't use it. It uses a regex engine based upon finite automata. So if you want fancy regex, I don't want fancy. Doesn't have multi-line search. I don't think I need multi-line search. Well, this is pretty cool. What I think I'm gonna do is star this so that it adds to my list, and then I can sort of go take a look through it again later. That way I won't lose it. Oh, interesting. They have a homebrew formula. Okay, so I think it's fine. Is there an easy way to install it? The binary name for ripgrep is RG, archives. Linux binaries are static executables. Oh, okay. So I would need to download and install the .deb file because I'm on Ubuntu. Ooh, if you're a Rust programmer, Lookup can be installed with Cargo. Okay, so that is nice. I can install it with Cargo and then just use that one. All right, I think that's what I want to do. It is 8 o'clock now, and that means I've got to get ready for the rest of my day. I do live a little bit farther away from work now, so it takes me longer to get there in the morning, and that just means I can't really just hang around here for too much time after 8. But anyways, thanks Avarice and Miguel for stopping by. Thank you anybody else who may have been lurking or watching, or who is watching the VODs or the videos on YouTube. I tweet out generally when I go online, maybe a few minutes before, maybe right at the time. I generally stream every single weekday at 7 a.m. Mountain Time, sort of doing this Rust thing. And I'm also trying to figure out if I can do these, other bonus streams throughout the day. So if you follow my Twitch channel, you'll get those notifications when I do go online. You can also follow my Twitter, which has notifications when I go online and when I upload these VODs to YouTube. Of course, you can also follow me on YouTube as well to get those notifications if they happen, which I've heard is kind of weird these days. So with that, I don't have anything else. So I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow morning when we start chapter 9. Yes, and thank you for the thank you. I've been having a lot of fun here. Enjoy your day. Enjoy the rest of your days as well. And I'll see you all tomorrow.